welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, May 21st, 2019. I am Yvette Bowens with the details. Queen's Counsel Parnell Campbell says there is nothing wrong with amending a private member's motion, and the opposition should have seized the opportunity in Parliament last Friday to debate the important topic of electoral reform. Campbell, who served as Attorney General under the opposition New Democratic administration, was discussing on his Law and You program on SVG-TV last evening the drama which unfolded in Parliament on Friday. On Friday, members on both the government and opposition bench locked horns over the rules governing amendments, resulting in no debate on the motion or amended motion on electoral reform. Campbell, who said he played a key role in creating the standing orders which govern parliamentary proceedings, said on his own program last evening that amended motions is a normal tactic.
Is that there is nothing wrong with amending a motion, whether it is a private member's motion or a government motion. Nothing wrong with it at all. An amendment is a proper procedure. And one of the political tactics used by opponents when they want to negate a motion brought by the other side is to try and amend the motion. But what seems to have been lost in all of the argument is that democracy, parliamentary democracy, is based on simple arithmetic. A government comes in office because it can demonstrate it has the majority of the elected members.
Campbell said the opposition should have been prepared for this tactic, which in his opinion does not prevent them from stating their opinions on an important issue such as electoral reform.
Opposition brings a motion to Parliament, it has to expect that the government will try to amend the motion, to turn it around on its head. You come expecting that. You're in a state of political warfare. So your opponents are going to try to twist your motion to suit themselves. You have come to debate your motion. You have your notes, you have the points you want to make. You plan your strategies. These are the ways we will get our message out. So even if the government amends your motion, it doesn't affect a single word you have prepared to speak. All you do when you begin, you say, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am opposed to the amendment, and these are the reasons why. And in opposing the government amendment, you give the material you had brought to Parliament to debate and get your message out to the people, which must be the objective for which you had filed the motion in the first place.
The veteran lawyer said Friday's sitting of Parliament gave the opposition the opportunity to be heard nationwide, and it was a missed opportunity.
Objective of highlighting to the government a particular state of affairs and giving your opinion on it. And the other is to get valuable publicity from the electorate to whom you have to appeal when the general elections come up. So that an opposition should crave the opportunity to air their views in Parliament and have them recorded in the Hansard as part of the public record, and have people out there hear what they're saying, get their message across to the people out there. These are days when every meeting of Parliament goes over live on radio and television, which was not the case when we were in office.
The Venezuelan embassy here in SVG has joined with other embassies regionally to campaign against the blockade and sanctions the United States imposed on Venezuela. At a news conference today, Venezuela's ambassador to SVG, Francisco Perez, made an appeal for the U.S. to stop intervening in his country's affairs and hopes that the campaign will have a wide-reaching impact.
They are trying to intervene in our country, militarily, or what they are doing now, intervene in the financial system in our country. We have this campaign, Trump desbloquea Venezuela or Trump unblock Venezuela. It's a worldwide campaign in support of the Venezuelan people and asking the government of the United States to unblock our country, our finance. Leave it us alone, please.
The campaign started yesterday, and according to Ambassador Perez, this is a direct request from President Nicolas Maduro for their diplomatic missions to do their part to raise awareness on the issue. Updating the media on recent developments in Venezuela, Ambassador Perez said the restrictions and bans on acquisition of medical funding has resulted in the deaths of many Venezuelans.
A week ago, one of the boys that were waiting for the surgery unfortunately died. Unfortunately, and very sad, because he died waiting for the operation that must be paid by Citgo and the money that the United States and the European Union and other countries stole from the state of Venezuela, because that money doesn't belong to Maduro or the PSVA. That money belongs to the people of Venezuela, and those are people of Venezuela, and those money were using to pay that operation.
Ambassador Perez is hopeful that Vincentians can join with his people and bring back normalcy to his country, which he said has been portrayed negatively and laced with untruths by the international media. As countries such as the United States continue to battle a measles outbreak, health officials here continue to urge persons to ensure that they are up to date with their vaccination. Speaking with SVG-TV News today, infectious disease specialist Dr. Jose Davey said while most persons have been vaccinated as a child, there is a chance the vaccine has failed, hence the need for a booster shot.
To a 97-98% coverage for vaccines for measles. But because some persons cannot prove to us documented that they have had both shots, because you need two. You need one when you're between 12 to 15 months, so that's a year and a half. That's the first shot you get. And then you have a booster shot when you're between 4 and 6. So some persons are not so sure that they've had that second shot. Their parents may have taken them when they're babies and perhaps forgot to take them the second time. So that's one reason why we have issued that demand that people, well, not a demand, we ask that persons go and get the second shot. There's another reason for it, because sometimes the first one fails. So just in case there's a vaccine failure, like your body didn't really respond to it, it's good to get the second shot. After one shot, you're 93% covered for not getting the disease, and after the second shot, 97%. So you're really all up there, and the reason why we're stressing measles this much is because it's very contagious. 9 out of 10 persons exposed to someone with measles, if they're not vaccinated, can contract measles.
The measles vaccine is paired with the vaccines for mumps and rubella. Dr. Davey shared some of the symptoms for mumps and why the vaccines were paired.
If you remember, but you wake up one morning and either one side of your gland is swollen, your neck, or the other, or both, for the persons who had it really bad. So that's what mumps really is, the swelling of your glands there. It's painful, and most persons it resolved in a few days without much treatment, just hydration and control of the pain and the fever. So in terms of complications for these diseases, I think measles has the most complications because it can end in encephalitis, which is swelling of the brain, and pneumonias. Before 1963, before there was vaccination for measles, it resulted in about 400 to 500 deaths in the States. So that's quite significant, and vaccines has brought that down to no cases of measles unless it's imported. And of course now that they're having the outbreak in persons who were not vaccinated.
Okay.
So the drug makers have made it quite easy for us to take vaccines these days, and that's why they've come up with these combinations. So rather than having your kids do return visits to the clinic, get the fever, get cranky all over again, they've combined the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine to make it easier for everyone involved.
Noting that there are a few persons who reject modern medicine in favor for herbal alternatives, the infectious disease specialist used the opportunity to share some advice with these individuals.
If you live in the bush, you should be safe from anyone who has measles. So you can boil and drink all the bush you want. Just don't come to modern civilization where you will be exposed. And that's the other thing that we were saying to persons as well. If you're going up to the States, be sure to get vaccinated at least 28 days before you leave, because should you get there, you don't want to fall sick to an illness where you have to go pay all those medical bills and probably get very ill, and God forbid you should die from one of the complications of measles. And it would also help us when you're returning back home that you're not bringing something back home, because you can be incubating this disease on your way home, and then when you get here, by the time we see the rash, you would have already been contagious 4 days before. So you're contagious 4 days before the rash and 4 days after.
The fire department is reminding Vincentians of some safe practices that can be used to prevent their homes going up in flames. The preventative tips were shared by Inspector Curtis Clark of the fire department as firefighters were called out yesterday to battle two fires, one which gutted a house in Orange Grove in the Dorchester Hill area, and the other a bushfire which threatened houses in the Cemetery Hill area. Inspector Clark highlighted some of the safety practices which persons can implement to reduce the risk of a fire.
You must use safe practices. If you're using your stove, if you're doing something on the stove, don't leave it unattended, because an unattended fire can escalate into something much bigger than you really would have anticipated for. If you leave in your home to go in town or anywhere else, don't leave on any equipment that you think that could, in the process, could short out, if that's the word to use, and generate electrical malfunctioning and create fire in your home. Always turn off equipment before leaving home. If you're ironing, don't rest the iron down flat and leave it there too long. Pay attention to your iron, because that will heat the surface in which it is on and create fire. So there are many little measures that you can put in place. Safe practice is always something that we would have preached and asked persons to always consider and practice.
Members of the Vincentian public will get an opportunity later this week to learn more about the effects of climate change on St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other regional countries when the Regional Security System, the RSS, holds a panel discussion to this effect. The panel discussion is scheduled to take place on Thursday, May 23rd, 9 a.m. at the Methodist Church Hall, and will look at the topic, Impact of Climate Change on RSS Member States. Members of the panel will be drawn from NEMO, Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, Sustainable Development Unit SVG, AICA and UE, among others. The discussion is being sponsored by the European Union's 10th EDF project and is being hosted by the RSS. Welcome to Carnival Beat. An agreement was signed today between the Carnival Development Corporation and two platinum sponsors for Vincey Mas 2019, the St. Vincent Highroom Brewery Limited and telecommunication company Flow. Representative of the SVG Highroom Brewery Limited, Kelvin Franklin, said that the company is always happy to be part of Vincey Mas as the official beer of the festival.
And outside of all of the CDC activities. We sponsor as well, as you know, rural carnivals. We sponsor all the components of Vincey Mas, pan, mass, calypso. We even give sponsorship in kind and cash to our Soca artists. So, rightly said, Highway is Carnival, and we'll continue to throw weight on Vincey Mas because we believe in holding our own and putting our money where our mouth is.
Flow Country manager Wayne Hull said that the company has been partnering with the CDC for 15 years now and hopes to continue its partnership in years to come under the good terms of the agreement that they have signed on to.
I think as well, I just want to mention that our partnership in Vincey Mas is not just with the CDC. We are also, we have the biggest money ban. I think that is outside of the contract, and that is a big part of what we do for Vincey Mas. We sponsor as well, I think maybe you know, in excess of 3 or 4 rural carnivals this year. We have the Cyanil Steel Orchestra, who we have as a band that we have adopted and would continue to do so. We're a big supporter of the Calypso Association and helping them to hold their events at a good venue. I believe it's still at the Russell's Auditorium. And we do numerous things with Soca and Soca artists. We have many of them still as partners with us. So our involvement with Vincey Mas, you know, really goes really, I would say, deep and wide, you know, throughout the country.
Meanwhile, at today's ceremony, prizes were presented to the winner of the Young Trending Artist competition, which was held as part of the launch of Vincey Mas 2019. The competition was won by Zavik Morris, whose stage name is Casper G. He was awarded 10 cases of Harun Bear, a Samsung Galaxy J4 Plus, 2 airline tickets, food voucher, and a goat. CDC Chairman Ricardo Adams, while congratulating Morris on his win, dismisses talks that the CDC is being unfair to young artists.
I just want to clear up one little misconception, because there are persons who believe that the entertainers who performed on the night, who took part in the competition on the night, that all they get is the prizes that are being awarded here this morning. I just want to point out, every single entertainer on that night got an appearance fee. The prizes that are being awarded this morning to Casper G are additional prizes to his appearance fee. So I just want to make that clear, because I don't think a lot of people understood that. And I heard some reports in the media that would have suggested that CDC has resorted to having people singing for a goat. And we're just saying that every one of the entertainers got their full appearance fee. These prizes, contributed by our valued sponsors, are an add-on to their appearance fees.
Chief Executive Officer of the CDC, Ashford Wood, also congratulated the young trending artist on his win and said he was very impressed with his performance.
Proud of you as a young act. We see you have taken that to another level where you are practically dominating the music scene. For the moment, the big guns coming at you. Don't get too comfortable, boy. For the moment, all right? And we really want to take the opportunity to wish you the best of luck going forward. Like the chairman said a bit earlier, all those who appeared on that show, they were paid an appearance fee. In fact, that appearance fee was $1,000 per artist. In fact, those who were established actually received a bit more. So the CDC, we make sure we take care of artists. I was listening to the owner of a radio station some time ago, and he actually said the CDC prostitute artists. And I still trying to find the definition of the word prostitute.
Morris told the gathering that he appreciated the winning prizes and encouraged other youngsters to believe in themselves and to work hard in achieving their goals. The use of incendiary devices or firebombs will not be tolerated for Vincey Mas 2019. This was stated by Chairman of CDC Ricardo Adams, who made it clear at today's media conference that security will be strict this year to ensure that there will be no use of these devices at any CDC event.
Based on our understanding from the legal authorities, the use of incendiary devices in an uncontrolled space is against the law. So while we think that it is fantastic to have baygon cans or bop cans or whatever up in the air and blowing flames, we have actually had incidents reported to us in other events where persons have gotten injured because of it. And we just want to say that from a CDC perspective, that we are going to ask the police to be as stringent as they normally are in terms of the monitoring of the use of those flamethrowers in CDC shows.
Adams said the CDC will be taking a keen interest this year in ensuring the safety of all revelers. Also in Carnival Beat this evening, we continue to shed light on up-and-coming soca artists. Harlem Richards, who has been in the music industry for some 7 years now, considers himself as supreme and recently released his first soca piece for the Carnival season called Zombie. Richards, who hails from Barley, told SVG-TV News that he uses his creative talent in many ways, which include filmmaking, music and video production, and sound engineering. He said that his first soca song was released last year, and though it did not do as well as he anticipated, he continues to stay focused on his goal of making it big in this music industry. Richards said he is hoping for a spot in this year's Soca Monarch competition and encourages other artists and producers to work together to uplift SVG's culture and music.
Because it ain't nothing like it. Now in the future, like back in the days time, everybody had the same flow, same everything, same concept. Well, I come to do something different, like different energies, mix it with a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of dancehall, pop, mix it up and bring the energy together into something new. So it'll be a new form of soca, something the world have never seen and St. Vincent have never seen. So it'll be like a different creation. This is what I got to say to everybody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that want to aspire to be something great. Believe in yourself, focus, keep the faith, patience. You need a lot of patience, because without patience ain't nothing gonna happen. Once you believe in yourself and don't listen to what nobody got to say, because when we're St. Vincent, sometimes people hate a lot. There's too much hate out there. We need more love. Get rid of all of the hate and inspire each other to be great. Love your brothers and love everybody. It's all about love, because love is the most great thing in the world. You see, if we have more love in St. Vincent and all the producers come together, it'll be a bigger thing to take our music international. But everybody thinks separate. The bigger studios, they want to separate. They don't want to unite. It's time for us to unite.